Demi Moore, forever remembered as Molly Jensen in Ghost, gave the world one of cinema's most unforgettable performances. Her portrayal of love and devastating loss was so raw and unfiltered that audiences were left breathless. But Demi was never just another actress on a screen. She was a force of nature where strength and fragility collided in ways that seared her into the hearts of millions. For decades, she stood as more than a star. She became a symbol of resilience, proof that even the deepest wounds could be endured, survived, and transformed into power. Yet, behind the famous pottery scene that defined a generation, another story has always lingered. A story darker and more merciless than any role she ever played. And now, at 62, that story is still her reality. The woman who once embodied eternal love on screen continues to fight unseen battles that the public rarely glimpses. If Demi Moore has ever moved you, let that memory serve as a quiet act of honor. For hers is a life still defined by struggle, scars, and the will to survive. Shadows of childhood. Her journey began not in Hollywood, but in the quiet desert town of Roswell, New Mexico, on November 11, 1962. The same Roswell, famous for UFO legends, became the birthplace of a far more human mystery: Demi's turbulent life. From the very beginning, her world was fractured. The man who should have been her father walked away before she was even born, abandoning her and leaving behind a void no one could fill. Her mother, trapped in cycles of alcohol and despair, dragged Demi through an unstable childhood. By the time she was 14, Demi had lived in more than 30 different homes, never staying long enough to feel secure, never letting neighbors even learn her name. But constant moving was not the worst of it. The darkest agony came inside those homes. In her 2019 memoir, Inside Out, Demi revealed that at just 15, her trust was shattered when she was sexually exploited for a mere $500. Not for survival, not out of desperation, but for money so pitiful that it branded her soul with shame and betrayal. That number, $500, haunted her for decades. An unshakable reminder of the moment safety and dignity were stolen. Even earlier, at only 12 years old, Demi had endured another trauma. She came home one night to find her mother attempting to end her own life. With trembling hands, she tried to save her, and in that single night, her childhood was over. She later said it was the moment she knew innocence had ended for good. Not gradually, but in an instant, as though a door had slammed shut on every dream she might have had. Her smile became her disguise. Her silence became her armor. Survival became her only weapon, escape into independence. By 16, Demi walked away from high school. She had no space in her life for teenage dreams or classrooms. Instead, she worked to survive, modeling, waitressing, even debt collection. Every paycheck was survival money, not freedom. At 17, she married rock musician Freddie Moore. It was not a marriage built on passion, but on escape, a desperate attempt to outrun her ghosts. They divorced in 1983, but his last name remained with her, forever tied to her identity. By 19, Demi's world changed when she landed the role of Jackie Templeton on General Hospital. The paycheck was $750 per episode, modest but life-saving. For the first time, she was valued for talent, not endurance. Yet, the inner turmoil never left her. Addiction soon became her escape. On the set of St. Elmo's Fire in 1985, director C. Joel Schumacher gave her an ultimatum: get sober or lose the role. That choice saved her life. At just 23, she entered rehab and began the painful climb back. The breakthrough Ghost in 1990. At 28, Demi's life changed forever. Her role in Ghost became not just a career milestone, but a cultural phenomenon. The film, made for $22 million, earned over $55 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing film of the year. Her performance as Molly Jensen was unforgettable. The iconic pottery scene with Patrick Sees became a cultural symbol of love and loss, seared into history. Demi's raw portrayal wasn't just acting, it was her channeling decades of buried pain, transforming her scars into art. Her short haircut even sparked a global trend, a silent declaration that she was her own woman, scarred but unbroken. From that moment, Demi Moore wasn't simply surviving, she was ascending love, marriage, and fractures. In 1987, she had married Bruce Willis. Together, they became Hollywood royalty. He was fresh off Die Hard. She was about to become the face of Ghost. Their family grew quickly. Rumor in 1988, Scout in 1991, and Tallulah in 1994. To the public, they seemed like the perfect couple. But behind closed doors, pressures mounted. Bruce longed for stability. Demi, fueled by ambition, kept chasing roles that pushed her boundaries. Their bond frayed under the weight of distance, long shoots, and her haunted past. In 1998, after 11 years, they separated and divorced in 2000. Yet they chose grace, remaining committed co-parents, even appearing together at family milestones, breaking barriers, paying the price. The 1990s cemented Demi as Hollywood's highest-paid actress, but each triumph came with a cost. A Few Good Men, 1992. grossed $243 million and proved she could stand toe-to-toe with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. Indecent Proposal 1993 grossed $267 million but brought scorn with critics and feminists questioning her morality. Striptease 1996 made $96 million, and her paycheck of $12.5 million made her the highest-paid actress ever. Instead of celebrating her barrier-breaking achievement, the press mocked her. G.I. Jane 1997, where she shaved her head on screen, pushed her to physical and emotional extremes. Critics ridiculed her, but her performance became a feminist milestone. Each role redefined her, but each also left her scarred. Hollywood applauded her courage, while punishing her for daring to defy its rules. The Ashton Kutcher years. In 2002, at 40, Demi met Ashton Kutcher, then just 25. He made her laugh, made her feel young again. Their romance felt like redemption. In 2004, she became pregnant at 41, daring to dream of a child born from love, not chaos. But at 6 months, she miscarried. The devastation consumed her. Grief pushed her into addiction again, and in desperation, she made painful compromises to keep Ashton close. In her memoir, she admitted suggesting threesomes in an attempt to save their marriage, but instead of binding them, it tore them apart. In 2011, she discovered his infidelity, not through him, but through a Google alert. At 49, the betrayal left her shattered. By 2013, their marriage ended in divorce, collapse, and rebirth. By 2012, Demi's spiral hit rock bottom at a party. She suffered a seizure linked to substance use. It was the wake-up call she could no longer ignore. Recovery came slowly, but with therapy, honesty, and reconciliation with her daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah, she began rebuilding. Writing her memoir, Inside Out, became an exorcism, forcing her to confront every wound she had tried to bury. Today, at 62, Demi Moore lives far from Hollywood's glare. Her refuge is her estate in Idaho, surrounded by silence and nature. She has rebuilt relationships with her daughters and embraced the joy of becoming a grandmother. She remains close to Bruce Willis, standing by him after his aphasia diagnosis in 2022, proving that family can endure even after divorce. With Ashton, she has found distance and acceptance. She stays strong through yoga, meditation, and self-care. She has returned to acting, appearing in 2023's The Substance, proving her screen power endures. Most importantly, she has finally found peace. Not in applause, not in men, not in fame, but within herself. Demi Moore, at 62, is scarred, but serene, fragile, yet unbreakable. Her legacy is not just one of survival, but of rebirth. Proof that, even from the deepest wounds, strength and beauty can rise again. What do you think of Demi Moore's extraordinary journey? Do her struggles and resilience inspire you to view your own challenges differently? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of survival and transformation.